Hi, I'm Anthony, a volunteer with LoveCry, and this is Jesse, the CEO of LoveCry. And I wanted to do a little video today about person like training, exercising, eating right. So I think, I was in this group therapy thing, and the guy said, everyone knows what we need to do to be more fit, but we don't do it, right? And yourself, like Jesse and I have been training together for what, 20
20
years?
years,
About
I'd
20
say.
years.
Yeah.
So he's an amazing training buddy. We just worked out yesterday. We're both hurting. And so, like, you want, let's say you want to work out or you want to eat something healthy and you find yourself not doing it. So, I wanted to talk about that today. I really have a tremendous amount of respect for Jesse for his emotional insights because it's your emotions that drive you, right? So, you
Yeah.
find yourself in the gym or you don't find yourself in the gym. So, your emotions have a lot to do with how that does happen or how it doesn't happen. So, are there times when you are dragging your ass into the gym? You're like, oh, I don't want to work out, but I'm gonna train with Anthony,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do it, right? But so what goes on with you in certain days when you don't want to train? Like, what's the process there?
So for me, I guess like when I don't want to train, it's always like I'm either sad, depressed. Like I kind of find a reason why I can't do it right now, or there's something that I need to do. There's something that I need to think about or feel like this isn't right for me right now.
Mm.
Um, it's it's kind of like it's a self-sabotaging thing as well because to start to work out, to start to change your habits, your ego's challenged.
Oh, so your ego's challenged because you're making a change,
Yeah.
and the ego doesn't like change.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
That's from what I like from my own experience and
makes
what I've
sense. So
knowledge.
ego's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it,
Yeah.
right? So we're
Yes,
good where
that's
we
it.
are. Okay, so the self sabotage is like, I'm doing something different. So we have an aspect of ourselves that doesn't want to do something different and wants to do things the way they always were.
It's like a threat
Mm.
because then now that way of thinking is now under scope, so it has a chance to be changed, and now it's not in charge anymore. Now you've become almost like I don't even know what to say the word like
The
the viewer,
observer.
that yeah, the observer. You start to see rather than react to those
So rather
thoughts.
than be the thought, like, oh, this
Yeah.
is how I feel, this is what I'm going to do, it's like, okay, I get that thought. And I mean, before, I find it very helpful to talk about a board of directors, or you've got the chairman of board, you've got a board meeting, and we all have that inside our heads, right? We have the itty bitty shitty committee that I mentioned
Yeah, yeah,
before.
no, seriously.
And so it's like, okay, I don't feel like training, and I have this other stuff which is pressing, which I should be doing right now. And okay, I get that thought. So you're saying be the observer. Like, okay, I observe that thought. Thank you for your input. You're
Sometimes
right.
those things aren't always pressing. So like it may be pressing, but it's not
Oh,
necessarily
right,
something you need to do. You're just telling yourself this
right,
so that you
right.
could feel justified in not doing this activity or this
Which is
exercise.
turning over a new leaf in your life or starting
Yeah,
something new.
exactly.
Okay.
It's always like a threat. It's like backing the animal into a corner. It's
Mhm.
always going to fight to like get out of it. But this way, it's not something fighting you. It's yourself talking to yourself,
Mhm.
and it's always with a nice, it's like you want some candy, it's very manipulative, and if you're not observing it, that you can be very easily tricked because it's your own voice talking to yourself.
So you have this person in the boardroom, this voice, let's say not say person, but a voice in the boardroom saying, let's not train, but you know what? It's going to feel really nice if we have a nice lazy morning, or it's going to feel really nice to be on the couch, and then we can gather our thoughts and really attack this problem.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. We need to relax. We need to
right.
like de-stress, and
Uh,
we need to have this way because this is making me stressed, or this is what's bothering me. So if I do this will relieve me of these feelings. But yet that those things are what landed you there in the first place. If you really look at it, all the way of thinking is what put you in that spot in the first place. So now those changes and those things that are different kind of are like it's almost like an on and off switch that's turning on another light in another room. Yeah.
right. Hey, what's over there? What's that?
Yeah,
It's like a little
exactly. It's never
distraction.
addressing the right issue, the
Uh,
actual issue that's bothering you.
mm,
So you're turning on a light, but it's turning on a light back there, and you're like, "What?
yeah,
But I
right,
don't need that light. I need the
right.
light here." I don't know if that
No, it does make
makes.
sense because you said about the ego like feeling backed up or feeling threatened. So, number one, turning over a new leaf can be threatening because it's a new direction or a new activity. And number two is like him coming up with an excuse like, I really need to do, XYZ errand, but it's not the most important thing that is holding you back.
Yeah.
And the ego doesn't want to look at stuff that's holding you back, but it's not like you're going to eject them out of the boardroom. You're
Yeah.
just becoming more of an observer, saying, okay, you have your spot in the boardroom, but I don't have to listen to you right now. I can drag myself to the gym, even though I don't feel like it, right? But, oh, go ahead,
I was
man.
just gonna say, because sometimes those people in the boardroom, they're just telling you those things because that's what they want from you. They think this is what will protect you. But in turn, like, this might have protected you at one point in your life or kept you safe, but now it's not. Now it's actually interfering with your progress, your growth, your development into being who you are meant to be. Um,
No, I
so
think that's an awesome point because there's this evil ego bashing, and it's like you got to slit that person's throat in your boardroom. It's like
yeah,
they want the best for you. They want you to be
yeah,
safe.
exactly, exactly.
They want you to be okay, and then you just have to have these different voices saying, okay, but I've got a plan, and this is also gonna have me be safe and okay. And like as you said, growing into the person I was meant to be, or that I'm
Yeah.
meant to be, and continuing my growth because it's
Because
ongoing.
our usually sometimes our thoughts and plans led us to like bad places and things like that. So our ego is like, no, I'll protect you, I'll keep you safe, and then until you could actually explain to him that you understand, or her, or whatever is going on, to understand that you understand them, you're here for them. This isn't going to happen anymore. Like you're there for them, you'll care for them. You're not going to let it be walked on. You're not going to just ignore it. You're going to hear it. You're going to feel it and be there with it. And that brings real change and love to yourself as
I,
well.
I think that's an awesome point. So, we've got the boardroom and we've got the chairman, and you don't want to be the chairman with a whip saying, shut the F up. You want to be that chairman that's loving and saying, I get that you want the best for me. I get it, and we're going to work together, and we're going to be okay. So it's that loving disposition
And
towards
then you could
yourself.
also notice the change in you afterwards, which is beneficial too. So if you're doing something that is benefiting your health, making you feel better, remember that, dock that in a sense, so that when you do have these feelings of not wanting to do this makes you feel bad or things like that, you're like, no, but when I did feel bad, this is what happened to me. It made a shift. You know what I mean? It brought me out of it in a sense, like, to where, like, I'm not so focused and condemned by these thoughts. So that workout is almost as well, like, for me, like, I push as hard as I can. It's like a stress relief as well. Like, it's hard to even fathom the impact it had on me over all these years. But reflecting back, not knowing that it would make these changes, it's amazing. It's like surreal, and I just hope to like be able to like support others with that journey who have been conditioned to think certain ways, and where society also suppresses us to do these things, to be this type of person. We need money. We need this. Where's the love? Sorry.
It was an interesting point you made about docking something. You make note of something. So, I mean, I had a brutal breakup like 20 something years ago, and I was like underneath the basement. I wasn't even in the basement. I was under the basement, and I slept like shit. I slept like 2 hours, and I dragged my ass to the gym. I don't know how I did it. I dragged my ass to the gym. I'm like, let me try working out because nothing else is making me feel better. Like, I wasn't gonna abuse alcohol or drugs. I didn't know what to do, and bro, I felt better. Like I wasn't cured. I didn't feel like I'm okay, but it
Yeah.
was the best hour of my life in that day. It was going to the gym, dragging myself in there, and it caused a shift. So that was something I docked. You said, dock something positive, and it's like now, no matter how much I don't feel like going to the gym, all I have to do is think about that day that was like so low, and I was like, it, it worked before. Why wouldn't it work again? So it always does. Like I'm always so glad I went to the gym, and I might have a million weaknesses, but I don't skip gym days. Like so, but of course there's times I don't feel like going. But I drag myself in there, and I always realize that if I can just get myself in there, I'm gonna feel better, and it's always true that I do.
And then I find too, like, especially because having a family now, with kids, like, it's hard to find a schedule. It's hard to like push yourself to get that because you're tired. You're dealing with your children. There's lots of stress. And these things kind of like condition you to like get out of that. You know, you're an adult now, you're mature. You know, you have to take care of your family,
Yeah, you
but
have to be an adult and not mess around with the gym. That's
yeah,
for young kids that
yeah,
don't have
yeah, exactly.
families,
You're going to
right?
hurt yourself. You know, you
Right.
might get in danger, but and yet it strengthens you. It gives you more of a willpower. It shows your children, your family that, you know, like, don't give up. You keep fighting, even if you seem old or, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's something that we've kind of been conditioned to think over all these years, and that working out is like some masculine, you know, like, oh, macho thing. But to me, it's helped calm me down. It's helped me be a almost like less angry, nicer
Mhm.
person. Like, I still had to do a lot of therapy and work as well, but that the workout didn't make me more like, yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
oh, me big, you know, like it.
It wasn't an ego feeder.
Yeah, for me, you know, like it helped release that ego, helped me deal with my pain, and to see past that pain.
I just remembered I was going to meet a client, and she said to me, "I think I'm clinically depressed." And so she's like, "What do you call it when you're diagnosing?" She was self-diagnosing herself, and so I think I'm clinically depressed. And I was like, "Okay, maybe you are. Like, we don't know because neither one of us is a professional, but let's get in there and do some training." And I trained her hard, man. We did some hard deadlifts, and her and I are walking out of the gym. She's like, I literally don't feel depressed right now. And there is a lot of clinical research on depression, on anxiety, and hard exercise. So not, going for a walk, like any exercise you do is better than not exercising. But in general, the more intense the exercise is, the more the feedback. So you don't want to, like, go for a 300-meter sprint if you haven't worked out in 5 years, but you you start where you need to start. But intensity is what drives the best results, physiologically and emotionally.
And it helps, I find, build confidence too, because like you start at a place and you like gradually build and get better. You change your feeling, you know, like you feel confident. Like, it's like doing an exercise that isn't difficult, doesn't take much emotion, thought, feeling, and you can do it. And there's no, it's just, to me, it just gives you like a confidence in yourself that I
Like a
don't know if,
feeling of mastery, like
yeah,
I'm good at
yeah,
this now. I've been doing this for a while and I'm
yeah,
good
and
at
you
it.
don't
Like,
have to be the strongest guy in the gym. You don't have to be the biggest person, the best runner. You know, as long as you could feel your own goals, like you set your own goal and it
and
changes.
your
Yeah,
progress.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I
And
find.
the nice thing is, like, it's maybe the hardest to get going.
Yeah.
That's the hardest time. But the nice thing about it is that your progress is the fastest near the beginning, right? So people who start running, who start weightlifting, and definitely for women and men, weightlifting is amazing. Swimming, whatever it is, your progress is going to be very fast the first few months. But that's when you need that to kind of give you that feedback, like, I'm progressing, I'm getting better, I'm getting more mastery at this thing, I'm succeeding in this. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
All right, guys. So tune in for our next video, whatever it will be, and love cry.
Yes, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks for listening.